picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dragula.
Well, welcome back to the Madhouse. It is it's the middle of May. Time is ticking, clock is running short, and I'm trying to get some modeling in. I knew this was going to be a frantic week, so I'm dubbing this week the Down and Dirty week. I picked up a couple, I've had these things forever, but I picked a couple things out of the stash that I wanted to knock out this week that I thought would be quick and easy builds and not too mentally taxing, because it is lead up to Wonderfest, and everybody who orders templates from me is getting their orders in, so I've got to be running back and forth and getting those orders ready to go. Some I will mail out in advance, some I will take with me to the show and release into the wild there. But that's where I'm at. This is, like I said, it's Tuesday. So much weird stuff was happening yesterday that I didn't even have time to start my report. I got something very nice in the mail. A belated birthday present from friend of the show and all-around good egg, Eliot Brown. Eliot saw that I had made some snarky comment when he gave Steve Neal this big box of bounteous photo etch on his birthday, and I, kind of chided and was like, "Well, where's mine, Eliot?" And I didn't realize the guilt trip would work so well, or else I might have tried it. I might have started earlier. But Eliot sent me a rather nice box just full of neat things, including a bunch of photo etch for the Discovery that now, after Wonderfest is over, I may have a chance to actually get back to building that, or get to building that. But he sent me something that I have admired for years for other people. I never got one for myself, and that is the old Tamiya handy drill. He saw me struggling with that Star Destroyer, and I think it pained him. I think it pained him down into his soul, and he sent me this drill, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be putting that together today. You gotta love a model kit tool that comes as a kit. First, you have to build the tool, that use the tool to build other things. I love it, but I'm going to be getting onto that first thing. But I'll save some of the other surprises for when they come up. Also, not because he noticed my poor manicure skills, but this is some nail acrylic, basically acrylic powder and monomer and polymer, acrylic liquid and powder. So what the civilians would call that, but that is for making clear windows, and I have a big old project in the other room that's going to require a ton of that. So thank you, Ellie. You don't even know what you started there. So let's get on to this week's projects. I did some cheating Saturday in the last week and opened up the projects and got them all cleaned up and started putting things together. So I'm going to cut that footage in here, and then I'll catch you up where we are on the new stuff. So let's get back to the past and then catch back up to the future.
This is just a little Saturday morning recreational model building, not for any other particular reason other than I wanted to do something fun. And this is the Mighty Cougar kit, the Bob Burns tribute model made by Mobius from a few years ago. And I've had this thing kicking around forever, and I just decided it was time to knock it out. And it's simple and easiest thing in the world to build. So I'm just gonna throw these pieces together and we'll go from there. This is going to be part 2 of my cheap and dirty build for the week, and I'm just pulling out the kit and cleaning off the seams. And it is the Alien kit. The original was Ertl. This is the Ertl Alien kit, the one that came out in '79, right about the same time. Actually, this is a repop of it. It's AMT Ertl. This is the repop of the box art. The original one, you remember the artwork from the original one. It looked like the old Star Wars kits, the old NPC kits. So, but it is a masterpiece of bad seam work, and we're lucky enough to have with us today the original. This was the first kit of this alien that I built. And I built this back in '79, and it actually is one of the original kits of mine to survive the migration south, so it's got a bit of age on it. This is almost, what, 40 years old, coming up on this particular kit, because 79 to 2009 or to 2019, so we're coming up on the anniversary of it. Anyway, this was from the first pressing, the MPC kit, and as you could tell back then, of course, it's got a ton of dust on it, but as you can tell back then, I was not concerned with seam lines. Very obvious ugly seam work here all the way down. But interesting at the time to have a model kit from an R-rated movie. It's just one of those weird things. The Alien was merchandised as to kids as a toy that was ostensibly from an R-rated film that the kids couldn't see legally. Anyway, I thought I was being clever at the time because I had put rubber cement on the inner tongue to make the dripping goo. Of course, it's all turned brown and flaked off since then. But early attempts at painting the goop and the gore inside, not too shabby, not bad for a, what, 19-year-old kid at the time. Still had the original dome. That was a good find. But this has been sitting on the shelf for years and upon years, and needing a companion. Well, I got this repop of the kit, and I'm thinking that I want to correct all of or at least sand all of the seams. But this thing was built so that the arms would move, and the head would move, and the tongue would pop in and out. And I must have started building this once before, because the head was already built when I pulled it out of the box. But to sand the seams and to make it all it can be, what I'm going to do is sacrifice the mobility of the arms, possibly the head. I may try to find a way to redoing that ball joint, but there's just so many ugly joints going in and around there that to properly clean them up, I'm going to have to sacrifice the movement of the arms at the shoulders, because you really need to get in there to clean that seam out. So those are the things you do for love. And over here we've got Bob Burns / Kogar / Tracy from Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters. That body is, I've got it all clamped up, and all it is going to be is a manner of sanding fur on that seam. So, at least like I say, these should go pretty quickly. I just want to knock these out this week. Okay, the third half, if you will, of the Down and Dirty builds I'm doing this week is going to be this Dragula. Going to do another car model, and of course I can't do any regular car. It has to be a Barris custom car. So I've got this Dragula kit, and it's got this little notification in here. Congratulations, you have found a Kit Kat, which means a cat kit. Sorry, Kit Kats are delicious chocolate bars. A cat kit is a 1 in 12 kit that is molded in this glossy chrome or this glittery gold, which is fine if you don't want to build it. If you want to build it, you've got to strip that stuff off, because it does not want to glue very well. Plus, they did stupid things like, and I know it's a collector kit, it's not for building, but I want to build it. But they did stupid things like cast the tires in gold, and then, I mean, that's just kind of stupid. And so I've been sitting on the fence about building this thing, and I knew I'd get around to it one day. But what really happened is building that Amtronic car gave me the confidence to strip the chrome off of this. So these are the parts that I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave the rims chrome. I'm going to leave the body the gold color to, pay homage to the fact that it was cast in this glittery gold. And the surfboard that fits on the top of it, I am also going to leave in this glittery gold. But everything else that you see in here, except for the clear bubble. That wouldn't make any sense. But everything that you see, and I'm not going to do the decals, everything you see now left in this kit is going to be stripped. And now that I know how to do that and how easy it is, and I'm not afraid, I'm not scared to do it, I'm going to go ahead and get these parts stripped so that I can have them ready to go. I don't want to do too much building, but I do want to strip these so that when Monday rolls around and I start on my build, I will have these parts already ready to go. So while Bob is drying, I've got all these. This was a simple build. Like I said, I've got what I'm going to do on Bob is leave that so that I can swap the heads in and out for Tracy and or Bob Burns. So that's easy enough. I mean, that's how the model is designed to be done anyway. So that's ready for some final sanding before it gets painted. The alien is laying on kipping on its tummy there. It's got a bunch of seams that need sanded and filled, but it's going to wait until Monday to do that. So the last bit of prep work I'm going to do this weekend, unless I get really bored, is to strip these bits. Well, here you go. It is the finished Tamiya drill. Now, Eliot, I'll thank you a million times for the thought, but this is clearly a right-handed handy electric drill, and I am in fact left-handed. It's a struggle. I try to figure out how to make it work, but it's a little bit alien for me to hold. Obviously, it's a right-handed drill, and I'm left-handed, but I'll try to make it work. No, I'm being kidding. I'm being facetious. Of course it'll work left-handed. It's beauty. I finally feel like a full-fledged member of the modeling community, because I've seen everybody from the nearest and the greatest to the lowest of the low using one of these puppies, and I've always been envious. And now I feel like I need to go out and, I don't know, buy another Star Destroyer or something that I can use this new implement of destruction on. Maybe I'll take it to these guys, or I'll just sit here and play with it myself. Who knows? But thank you again, Eliot. This will be a proud member of my model building arsenal. Well, welcome back. It is Wednesday, and it looks like we're finally getting the rain that has been promised to us all week. So in preparation for that, I primed some parts yesterday because I knew that the rest of the week was more or less shot for outside work. What we've got here is the Dragula parts that once were the lovely gold flake. And the first thing I needed to do after I stripped them was to get a new primer coat on them so that I could start painting them the actual colors that they will end up being. So we're going to start construction on the Dragula today. I've got Bob Burns over here, got primer coat on him. I've got the alien here with a primer coat on him. Start maybe putting some... well, first on the alien, I've got to sand up some of the seam work and then see if it needs anything else before I can put a base coat on that. But I'm taking advantage of a rare quiet moment here today to catch you up, because I've got a big order that I need to get cranked out before I can head out of town for the shows that I've got coming up. And I'm still playing with my nice little drill. Although I'm thinking of putting a Dremel head in it to see if I can use it as a drum sander of sorts. And that pretty much catches you up with where I am right now. Good morning, cats and kittens. It is, it's Thursday morning. Yes, week's almost over. I've got some base coats down since the last time you saw. I've been trying to crank out vinyl orders this week. I've been putting up with the rain coming in and out, and all manner of things. I'm trying to get a big infestation of poison ivy in the house looked at, trying to get that ripped out by the roots, because I can't even look at a picture of poison ivy without starting to scratch, so I got to get rid of it. Anyway, as you can see, I've got base coat color down on the alien. I've got base coat color down on the Bob Burns Gorilla, and I'm starting to base coat the Dragula now that I have gotten some primer over top of that horrible gold speckled stuff. This is the gold speckled stuff. I'll keep it on the body and I'll keep it on the surfboard that goes with it. But I've got basically to repaint everything. You wouldn't believe how ugly the tires were. The tires were made of that gold speckle stuff. And it's like, come on. I know you're just dipping the whole, you just injected the whole tree with it, but really. Anyway, engine block is put together and base coated. I will go in and start picking out details on that. The aforementioned tires, some other body bits. But hopefully I'll start putting some of this stuff together and making it look somewhat like it's supposed to. Now I did semi-gloss on the gorilla body because of the pads, the flesh, the feet, the breasts, the underfeet, the face. They're all going to kind of stay that way. And it was a good base coat, and I had more semi-gloss black available to me than I did flat. So what I'm going to do is, that's why I decided to base coat it this way, because I had more of it. Plus it's good coverage. But now that I've done that, I can go over top of the actual fur with a flat mix of something that is black, but maybe with a little bit of brown in it, so that it's not, you know, completely black. But I can do that with the fur and start working in some detail that way. I still have a little bit of sanding to do on Bob's head into the hair. That's the one thing I've noticed about everything about this thing. All of the seams, of course, it's all hairy, so all the seams are in the hair. But it's also, so you got to sand all of that. Yeah, you got to sand all the seams and you have to cut in where you lose detail. So that's where I'm at. I've got. When I first did this alien years upon years ago, it was more greens and browns, and this one I feel, just to make it look a little bit different, it's going to be more it's going to be more slick and slimy looking, but it's going to be more of the blue blacks with some maybe some green highlights or some purplish highlights to it, maybe some little bit of metallics. It's just going to be something that's a little bit different than the original, the classic, the OG alien. This is the NG alien, the new generation, but it's more maybe more of the Cameron alien and less of the Giger alien, or less of the first movie Alien, more of the second. But you can really tell that when the fine folks at NPC/Ertl was designing this first alien, they were really using the costume from the first movie, because I mean, you can see areas in here that look like pants. You can see that this is a costume more than it looks like the actual physical alien, because of where they put, I mean, the seams that you can see, maybe where the boots or the pant legs go over the boots and things like that. Things that were changed or changed up a bit for the second movie. This alien I like the look of better than the second alien. I know the second movie, they were striving for more of an insect, more of a cockroach look, and just overwhelming you in numbers. And the first one was taller, skinnier, stealthier. I think I like that better as a look. So that's what I'm going to try to incorporate for this second alien build. But nothing to it but to get down to it. There, continuing to monkey around a bit. I'm sorry, I just had to use it. But we are continuing to monkey around a bit, working on the Bob Burns figure. And here is Bob, looking much younger than he was last I saw him. But yeah, I'm going to put the gray in afterwards. But wanted to start with the brown hair, and I'll put the gray in after that. But the colors on the ape suit are looking pretty good. I initially wanted to go with more of a black gorilla suit, but the more I played with it and the more I looked at it, the browner colors seemed to be a little bit more interesting. Not as stereotypical, not as... I know it's supposed to be a costume, but not as fake. Not as costumey. So a little bit more realistic with the gorilla colors. And again, not like the Gorilla Glue commercials either, which right now are one of my pet peeves for how stupid those are. Can you overreact too much to the sight of a guy in a gorilla suit? So that's where we're going to break it and maybe take a bit of lunch. Welcome back. It is Friday. It's the final work day of the week, and you can tell we've got less and less parts here, which means more sub-assemblies are being done and things are starting to come together, and it's really time to just concentrate on one or two things, work them all the way to the finish, and then come back and do the rest rather than picking at each individual thing. I think I need to turn around and just concentrate on one thing and barrel through it. I've been working on the Dragula, and of course this is the biggest piece of that gold sparkly injected plastic that the kit has. Actually, it's biggest next to this surfboard for some strange reason. There's a surfboard that goes with this dragster, and what I'm doing is not covering it up, but I've got to dress it up a little bit. I've got to do some toning and some shading on it to make it look like it's not an injected piece of gold plastic with speckles in it. So I've been working on that, and the frame and the engine and the tires, which are not, they're two-part hard plastic. They're not the nice rubbery soft plastic tires that model cars switched to at some point after this was designed. So that's made them a bit of a challenge, especially trying to get the rims inside them. Let's see. Bob is looking good. I'm working on his flesh tones now. I'm still not quite deciding whether or not I'm going to make the heads so that you can swap them out, but I'm not deciding whether or not it's going to be something that is going to be on display normally with it, or do you just swap them out? Because I'm really happy with Tracy, really happy with the gorilla, how it looks, even with the dopey hat. I'm happy with that, but I'm not really happy with the way it looks when you put Bob's head in there and try to make him look like he's holding the costume head, because the costume head is not designed that way. It's got the little pin on the bottom and all of that. So whether or not I'm going to try to make some sort of little stand to put it next to it or not, I haven't quite decided on that. The alien is probably the furthest from being finished, only because I'm playing with the other things, and the alien's kind of becoming a catch-all for colors when I'm done with a color in an airbrush, whether it is the gorilla colors or some other ones. I have a tendency to finish out the airbrush or clean out the brush with the alien, so it's getting a little bit of everything. And I need to settle down on that and decide what kind of colors I really want to keep with it. I'm going more with the purples and the inky blacks and that cool end of the spectrum on this alien, as opposed to the browns and the greens and the ochres on the original one that I did. So a lot of messing around, a lot of general falderall, but now I need to, like I say, buckle down and decide the finish on the few things and knock them out, because this will be the last day for a couple of these projects. I think I'm really going to finish them up today, and then I can start buckling down and doing what needs to get done in time for Wonderfest. But there's the current state. So let me start making some more sense out of this. Okay, in an effort to throw some different colors into this Dragula, I went and did some quick research to find out what color the seat is. I was either going to go with red velvet or purple, and it does seem like purple is the more accurate, so that does give me a little bit of color, and it also fits with the Dracula theme, since inside his cape was purple. But now I think we're ready to put I got the drivetrain installed, such as it were, and now I think I'm ready to put it up on its tires. So I'm going to drill these out a little bit so that I can fit them over. These are metal back here, but these are plastic, and I don't want to break them off, so better to have these a little large and fit on there and glue them than to run the risk of snapping that off. So let me drill these guys out a little bit and fit the tires on. We'll have a rolling chassis. And here's the accumulated work that I got done this week. Here's the class picture, if you will, of all the things that I got built this week. I'm including the drill because I had to build it. I earned that. It was a model. I built it. It's done. It works. It was the first successful thing I built this week. I got a little bit of work to go left on the Dragula. I've got to do the decals. There are some parts that include decals, and this gas tank needs decals. This tombstone needs decals. For some strange reason, the surfboard needs decals, and that they don't show any references of how those go on, so that could be a question for a later time. Bob Burns. There's also a decal that goes on the clapper there that I have not gotten done yet. And the Tracy head, looking very good. Very happy with that. Also very happy with how Bob's face turned out. This is obviously a little bit younger Bob than the last time I saw Bob. He was a little bit older than this. Yes, the eyes are darkened. I did put some black around those because anybody who does guerrilla work knows that they black their eyes out around so that the mask will hide their eyes better. So yeah, it's a little bit black around the eyes. I'm not quite happy with this sheen that's going on here, this gloss. So I'm going to hit that with a flat coat. Play up the gloss on the fleshier parts, but get rid of the gloss that's on the hair there. And the alien is probably, even though he's standing tall, looking pretty mentally alert at all times, he is probably the least done because I was playing with the other ones. So yes, there'll be some wrap up I need to do on these guys this weekend, or maybe beginning of next week. I've got a weird short week coming up. Got a weird couple of weeks coming up. I got Wonderfest coming up. You know that's my Christmas and New Year's and Hanukkah and Life Day and all of that stuff thrown into one. I love my Wonderfest weekend. So I'm getting ready for that. And that, in fact, is going to be where we close it off for this week. Like I said, weird weekend's coming up, so not going to get a bunch of output done, but I certainly won't stop building. I've got orders I've got to get out. I've got models I've got to get done. I've got things I got to get touched up. So it's going to be a weird schedule for the next couple of weeks. And of course, I'll take the camera with me to Wonderfest to report the festivities as I see them. So until next week, or not. Actually, I might have to send out the report a little early next week. So until the next time you see me, let's just say that. Until the next time you see me, be good to each other. Don't get something caught in your throat. Sorry. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next time.